Hello, everybody. How's it going? So, I'm here in Greece. This is my home, my little neighborhood around here. Yeah, and the funeral was just yesterday, like 24 hours ago. As of filming this, I should say. Um, my grandpa passed. It was just his time, and this this actually when I kind of saw that this happen, and when I was part of the ceremony, it I kind of got a glimpse of what I sort of looked like when I was passed out, in a coma and cardiac arrest and status epilepticus and all that stuff. But I do want to tell everybody something about this. My grandpa had a stroke. My grandfather had a stroke, and when I was there, I was here like the last 2 years, and he was still alive. And in all honesty, it was just painful to see. I There were even times I just couldn't stand it, and and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. So, but I finally I got to see him, and I will tell I will tell you this. I mean, he I don't know how to explain I don't know how to explain this, but I just didn't like seeing him suffer. So, in a way, I was actually glad that he passed away. And again, I'm not saying that in poor taste. It's just that his suffering finally ended, and which actually makes me kind of how do I say this? It's kind of applicable to the world around here, not just the world, but like us as us as human beings and stuff like that. And I'll get back and I'll get on to that soon. But I do want to say that when you pass, time speeds up. It really, really speeds up. Like, I mean, set hours turn into minutes. Yeah, years turn in years turn into months. Months turn into weeks. Weeks turn into days. Days become minutes. I kid you not. And actually, days become seconds. I mean, like, well, minutes, and then like hours become seconds. And but the only thing that really damages me, and that's what damages me the most, just seeing people suffer in general. I'm not gonna lie. Now, if you're suffering from anything, I'm not advocating for you to, if you're emotionally suffering from something, if you just got your heart broken, if you're going through depression, if you're going through some things, I'm not advocating for suicide or anything. There's always a way out in this. But if it's anything that people don't deserve, is to suffer. Um, it damages me whenever somebody does suffer. I mean, my two of my closest friends One's kind of a distant away from me, but I consider her to be close. She suffers severely through migraine. She has a lot of health issues, and she suffers, and that makes me uh, that that damages me, and I'm connected. We're all connected. We're all connected as human beings and spiritual beings and everything. Everybody and everything is connected, and some are sensitive to this kind of energy, and some are not. I mean, that's why a lot of the times this is a life sort of experience. You have to experience this throughout your whole life, and not many people get to experience it. But so I'm kind of here to kind of give you an idea of what it's all like. But the thing is that if we suffer as people, the whole country suffers, and the planet suffers as well. And I understand that. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But I mean, there's just so much heartache going on in the world. And I wish that people could find it in their hearts to instead of making contradictions and seeing people suffer and laughing at people's suffering, and even poking fun of it and doing like little exposés on people's suffering. I mean, whether if it's social reasons, political reasons, whatever, people get a rise out of people suffering. And again, I'm not advocating. Yeah, I'm not saying that suicide or killing everything and starting from scratch is the solution, but I will say that it does put a big burden on people, the country, and just civilization in general. And but I gotta say, it does make us stronger. Every loss makes us stronger. Things will always be better. And as much as people want to say, like the religious freaks want to say, or atheists want to say it, we're all mortal beings, and we're all this and we're all that. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's been taught from up there. So I mean, the thing is that I know I'll see him again. If you have lost if you have lost somebody uh, at any time, yeah, you can comment below. We can keep this conversation going. I'll do a YouNow stream. I'll try to aim for somewhere like nighttime or daytime in the States. So I'm gonna try to aim for noon Pacific time, 3 Eastern time, or I'll see if I can push through that. Yeah, or I'll try to do or I can try to do not 9 Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time. So keep an eye out for that scheduling. But yeah, but again, it all starts with us. If we suffer, then the planet suffers, and we suffer as animal. Everything suffers, and that's the last thing I want to see. And I actually remember. I do remember talking this on my Facebook with one of my friends. You know who you are. Uh, and said that I don't want to get into politics too much, but in this case I will. It's just that I really find it disgusting how we are political pawns, and the only way for people to gain power is just through other people's suffering. If you have to gain power through people's suffering, I'm sorry, but you're just demonic. You are demonic, and you deserve to go to hell and rot there and go back to where you came from. I don't mean that. Don't think I'm saying that just like what the president means. Oh, go back to your country. That's not what I'm freaking saying. I'm saying go to hell if you wish harm upon others, and you think it's funny for people to suffer, and you think that that the planet isn't suffering something. You want to know who I hear that from the most? It's from the people from where I live, and I'm going to take this out of the Jericho Green Dictionary. On the left coast, the West Coast, the left coast, the big corporations, the big news outlets, we're just political and social pawns. I mean, if humans don't suffer, then there's no attention for the media. And why do people why should anyone get off on someone else's suffering? And the reason why the reason why I say that is because, and again, I don't mean to end the world, end the country, because I did say earlier that it's best if someone is passing away, that I would prefer for it to be ended and just get it over with, so that way we're not suffering. But I mean, I don't mean destroy everything and everyone. While we're alive, we've got to help each other not suffer. That's the point. And sometimes when someone's passing away and they're suffering, you're trying to keep them alive. Unless if they're really, really, really close. Again, this is my opinion. Unless if they're very, very close to finding some sort of cure for what the person is suffering from, then they have to go. It's just selfish, and it's painful for the one who's in bed. I can't. It just damages me to the memories of hearing my grandfather crying and moaning, and him just being a vegetable, and I just hate people suffer like that. We need to help each other. We need to help each other and come together as one. I know that's cliche as well, but I'm not talking this in a militant way. I'm talking about it in a peaceful way. We are so damaged and so suffering because of the media, because of what's going on, because of politics, and we're just like an old person in a way who just had a stroke and is clinging to life. We're crying to get help. We're crying, and we need to help one another. We need to help each other end our suffering, back to the political thing. Again, what I see a lot of people laughing on my on my Facebook is that they're all bitching about, oh, the planet's suffering, these people are suffering, this and that. You want to know what the funny thing is that and they're all like, oh, F corporate America, F these corporations. You want to know who's laughing about this and stuff? It's these rich mofos. It's just these rich people, spoiled rich people that are crying, oh, this is going on, that's going on, do something. You do something. You do something, you rich morons. Global warming this, global warming that. I told somebody once, you start with something small. Volunteer, clean up the streets of San Francisco. Try to clean up the garbage. Do whatever you can. And I got laughed at. And I'm not complaining that I got laughed at. It's just that I just hate freaking people pointing out to a problem, and then a legitimate problem. Oh, the people suffering in Africa. Oh, the people suffering here. People suffering there. Global warming. These political problems. Those political problems. These social issues. Those social issues. What are you doing about it? Get up off your butt and freaking do something. Lead by example. And I was laughed at and saying, oh, well, it's not that easy. It's like, yes, it is that easy. Get up off your ass and volunteer. Help out. If you see somebody who's suffering, even through a disability, help them out. Even if it's somebody that you don't know, help them out. You help the people heal. You help the planet heal. You help people end their suffering. I gotta say, it's one of the best best feelings ever. And once again, I am not talking about resorting to suicide or homicide or whatever. Everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody. No one deserves to suffer. Even the ones who do suffer, I will tell you this. A lot of the ones who suffer don't talk about it because they are the unsung heroes. And I don't want to stroke myself, but I've gone through a hard-ass life. And I've suffered through a lot. And I can empathize with people such as, shout out to Katie and my friends Katie and Jenny. You know who you are. If you come across this, they're suffering through health issues. They're suffering through financial hardships. They're suffering, and that it pains me to see them suffer. Not only because they're my friends, but because they have great hearts. They try hard. They live hard, and there's barely anything that they can do about it. Yet they try their best for it to be a non-factor. And that's really admirable. It's so funny that I see that the ones who least suffer, at least this is what I'm getting from. The ones who suffer the least are crying about suffering and the suffering that's around them. And but they don't do anything about it. The ones who do suffer kind of give a red alert, saying, "Hey, I'm going through this. This is going through that." They don't make a big scene because they don't use people as political or social pawns. Why do you like seeing people suffer? All of you rich elitist morons, including you mainstream media. I'm calling all of you out. It's selfish, it's demonic, and it's pure evil of you to laugh at people's suffering. death, in the birth, the afterlife, and while you're living, while you're alive. Life is basically basically a sample of what it's like in the afterlife. In a way, there is no. And if you want to come and think of it like that, there may be there's no such thing as an afterlife, I guess. It's just you're just being reincarnated, and then you go to the next place and go to the next place and you go to the body and in the situation that you're most needed in. That's what I've learned. And you will sooner or later discover who you are and what you're supposed to do during your lifetime and when the time is right. The whole thing is that I just am glad that I don't have to see another person suffer like that. That was hard to watch. That was hard to witness. And we see this going on. People passing away. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but people are passing away. People have disabilities. People are just out on the streets and homeless and trying to do whatever. And I'm not don't make this political, okay? I'm not making this into a political thing. I'm talking about us as people. And I understand there are certain circumstances, but we have to stop using each other as political pawns. We have to stop saying, oh, and also this stupid view of, oh, if I'm not experiencing it, then it doesn't exist. If I don't see it, then it doesn't exist. Shut up. Your worst nightmares exist already. Maybe not exactly, but in some way, shape, or form. Maybe your worst nightmares are... Maybe someone else is living your worst nightmare. Isn't that something that you want somebody assist? Don't you want to assist that person? And say, hey, do you know what? This is my number one fear. I don't want them to deal through this. We're all suffering. The planet is suffering. Everybody and every spirit is suffering. All for what? Entertainment? For elections? For political and media power? I'm sorry, but do you know what? It starts and ends with you. Everything does. Every living thing, every movement, everything that has some form of power, it starts with one person. And if you're that one person, and you're doing it for the betterment, people will follow. There are tons of people who laugh at me because they don't know how to lead. They're too scared to lead. They don't know what to do or how to act. Why? Because a lot of these rich elitist people have been pampered. They never had to learn. I can't say not any of them at all, because we have a rich elitist president in the U.S. But he knows what he's doing. As much as people don't want to, as much as people don't want to say it. But why are we all doing this? Why are we all laughing at other people's suffering when you yourself don't want to suffer? Life, I don't mean to sound edgy here, but I mean, I guess life is like a... I'm not gonna take the Forrest Gump thing and say life is like a box of chocolates. I'm gonna say life is very much much life is very much of a I don't know how to explain this. Life is very much like a sorry for the pregnant pause here. Life is very much hold on.